Imagine a dead king's tomb on the open steppe, surrounded by a ring of human and animal corpses impaled on wooden poles. According to ancient accounts, 50 of the king's most trusted servants were strangled to death alongside 50 of his best horses. Their bodies were then hoisted onto scaffolding to create a macabre, rotting cavalcade of ghost riders guarding the perimeter. This terrifying image comes straight to us from the ancient Greek historian Herodotus. And because the steppe nomads left no written records of their own, they couldn't push back against his framing of their culture. For centuries, Greek and Roman writers controlled the narrative. They depicted these nomadic societies, often called Scythians or Sarmatians, as horse-eating savages, and told tall tales about fierce, mythical Amazon women. But recently, archaeologists began excavating undisturbed Kurgans, massive ancient burial mounds sealed tight in Siberian permafrost and thick clay. Inside these mounds is pristine physical evidence. For the first time, we can fact-check the oldest written histories in the world. To understand these people, you have to look at their environment. The Eurasian steppe is a massive, unbroken ocean of grass, stretching from modern-day Hungary all the way to China. Engineers constructed heavy larchwood chambers to support the massive weight of earth above. This schematic maps forensic findings at Tunug 1. 18 horse skeletons and human bone clusters were placed directly on the perimeter after the clay seal was laid. Herodotus was telling the truth. These mounds were engineered as terrifying visual displays of power, designed to be visible for miles across the plains. The brutal blood rituals were real, but the archaeology suggests the Greeks were wrong about the nomads being simple barbarians. When researchers dug into the unlooted centers of Kurgan 4 and Arjan 2, they found thousands of pristine, masterfully crafted gold artifacts. Archaeologists study an object's complete sequence of manufacture. These intricate animal-style pieces required a deep understanding of metallurgy, casting, and precision toolwork. Creating these objects required access to specialized workshops and high-heat furnaces. The sheer volume of gold found in these mounds, thousands of identical beads and trimmings, points to a settled, sophisticated production process behind the nomadic lifestyle. The graves also contained goods from hundreds of miles away, including distinct artwork tracing back to the Persian Achaemenid Empire. The presence of these foreign luxury items indicates the steppe was a corridor for long-distance diplomacy and commerce, connecting the nomadic elite to the royal courts of the Persian Empire. That leaves the most famous Greek rumor of all, the mythical Amazon warrior women. At a site called Filipovka, researchers excavated secondary graves dug into the sides of the mounds. Osteological analysis confirmed the skeletons inside were biologically female. This forensic map highlights exactly what these women took to the grave. They were buried with quivers holding hundreds of bronze arrowheads, short Scythian swords, and heavy iron scale armor. The skeletal remains matched the weaponry. The Amazons were active, heavily armed combatants within an egalitarian Sarmatian society. The physical evidence presents a paradox. A culture that lived almost entirely on horseback also engineered massive timber architecture and developed specialized gold workshops. The Greeks measured civilization by stone walls and written laws. The steppe nomads built fluid, fast-moving empires bound by oral history and unparalleled mobility. When ancient writers labeled them barbarians, it was a political calculation. It was propaganda deployed against a military force they simply could not conquer. History is usually written by the victors, but by leaving these monuments perfectly preserved in the earth, the nomads are finally speaking for themselves. The Scythians and Sarmatians prove a society doesn't need to build stone cities to forge a highly sophisticated, enduring empire.